explain to you how you can actually easily build a CLI comment interface for a project for the installation. You know, sometimes you have to install a project, like, you know, WordPress or those kind of CMS, you have an installer, but sometimes you want to change and to use just command line interface instead. And here, this is what we will cover. We will learn how you can actually build an easy, with Symfony command package, you can build easily a CLI for installing anything actually. Here you can see a similar project I have done already, which is a README PHP generator. And we will build something really similar, but however, for us, it will be to install a CMS. So it will be a installation wizard, let's say. So it will be, I will show you how, so we'll use actually Symfony command package, and I will show you how it works. Symfony command package. Here, we'll install that one. So we will work in this project in the PH7 CMS because we will build a CLI installer for that project. So we are going to clone the project. Let's refresh the page. Now I'm logged in. Let's just clone this one and let's open a terminal into create a new branch, and in that new branch we are going to build our CLI installer command line interface. So here I will clone the CMS git clone. Perfect. So now we have the project, it has been downloaded, and we can just go cd inside. And here we will open PHP Storm. I will open a new project in my case. I have a different one, so let's open here. Perfect, code, and that's the new one, so we'll just open it. Here we are. Beautiful. That's the README. We don't need it for now. And we can just open the terminal of the IDE. If you use VS Code, it's the same. You can also open a terminal window in your IDE in the bottom. So here we will create a new branch. So if you do git branch, you can notice we are on master because we just cloned the project. So we'll create a new branch and we'll do add CLI installation wizard, perhaps, probably. Yes, let's open it now. When you do git checkout with the B flag, the B option, it will create the branch and then directly checking out to that new branch. Here we will then install the Symfony package. So for that one, we are going to go to packages. Let's see, it's that one. So we are going first to install this package. Let's install it. And in the meantime, we can already see where we will create that new terminal console. So probably in tools. And I will create a new folder, and the folder name will be installation, probably. But it will be CLI. Let's name it CLI installation. Let's do this. And here we will create all the files inside of it. So here we are going to create a file. It will be a binary file, so we'll create a plain file. The name will be installer. Perfect. And here we will have, oh no, we don't want to add it to the Git stage for now. So we will add the instruction for our CLI, our CLI program. Now we will say to your computer, to the file, that this is a PHP file and it needs to execute the PHP interpreter. So we need this one actually, user bin env, where and then we mention PHP to mention that the environment has to be PHP. Now the first thing we need is to require Autoloader from packages, because we added a new package, and this is a this script won't be included somewhere else, so we need to mention that we want the Autoloader. The easiest way, I would just copy paste in my case from my other script, the readme generator. I will just copy paste that one. It's just easier. But actually, if you look on Google package composer, if you type composer, you will see they mention it to you, basic usage, and normally there they will also mention to you. So let's just search in the page, and you see here actually the required here. So you can see that example, it's always easy to know. I wonder if they mention it somewhere else. Oh yeah, autoloading. You see for library that specific autoloading information. Generate file. You can include that file, start using that class. So you just start by including it. And because for us we need the package we just installed from Symfony, the Symfony console. That's why we need this. So we are just going to include that bit here. Perfect. Unfortunately, here, as you can see, you don't have the highlight, the PHP highlight language, because the file is a plain file. And the reason is because it's a binary file. It should be a binary file. This is why we had to mention that it's actually the language is PHP here on the top. So your computer can know, oh yes, that's PHP actually. So now we are going to, to mention the application. So we are going to use Symfony. Or actually, I can use here. You see, use Symfony component console application. This is to start the application of Symfony. So we need this application class for starting a new comment. You will see, application will just wrap all the comments. And we'll mention every comment in the application class argument. So you see, we do exactly this way actually. This is exactly what we are doing. So we are doing this, and then you have to create a new, you have to instance the application class, as you can see. And after you will run once you register all the comments. So we are going to create also a new folder, and the name will be comment ds. Let's see what I have done here. I don't remember. I think there's a S, src. Oh no. So yeah, let's use a singular and let's do that way. Perfect. That project, I use it as an example because I have done it already and I know that I followed the right rules. Here, I just don't want to make any mistakes in front of you because otherwise you might be confused. So that's why sometimes I look at that one. And after, obviously, once you register the comments, like here, we do application add and the new comment. So let's just copy paste here because it's a bit annoying since we don't have the language highlight. Sometimes you might make more mistake when it's not highlighted because you don't have the auto completion either. So you see, you create, so the application, you have the application, you register the application with add method, and here for us, it will be installer. That will be the name of our command, and then we run it, and that's it. And inside of comment folder, we are going to create a new class, and the class will be installer comment. Comment is a suffix. It's nice usually to have this as a suffix. And for the namespace, it will be PH7 installer, or maybe a first CLI installer. That will be the namespace. And sorry, and comment now, because it's in the comment folder. So here is, and here we have our comment. So here actually we will also create a exception folder because for the architecture of the project we will also need to have exception classes. So let's add the exception folder, and inside we can actually already create an exception class. So the name will probably be invalid password. We'll have different one actually. So we can first, for the organization, create a folder with validation, and we will use inside of validation, it will be everything about validation. So invalid password exception. We'll have another one and it will be invalid name exception, and so on. Invalid name exception, perfect, and so on and so on. So now in the comment directory, we can have our first instruction. So let's see in the documentation. Oops, sorry, I have files that are not sites that are not related. This is something else about a different channel, really not popular because actually I just don't care. But let's go back to our main discussion, which is about the Symfony commands. And here we are going to use different configuration. We'll use the execute method. We are going to use the configure method as well, and add argument as well. We use a lot actually. And like in my project, if I go to my GitHub, in the other project I've already done a similar project actually. I will show you what I use. Let's just type, oh, I think I've seen it. CLI, beautiful. That's the one. So what I have done here, yes, it's a good idea to use Symphony Style. And should probably use comment. Oh yeah, that's to test actually. Sorry, it's not about Symphony Style here. I thought I made a ticket. Maybe I closed it. I think I closed. Yeah, use Symphony Style. Yeah, it was here actually. So Symphony Style actually is a good way, it's a kind of a helper, and it will make our life much easier, because normally before Symphony Style you would, instead of having this kind of like, wait, I will show you an example. So this is a way how you instantiate Symphony Style. Here, like, you can have title, selection, and especially ask. And ask normally, I don't know if they show an example, they don't, but normally it's much more painful. I will see here in the diff I've done, so you can really see what was before and how it is now. So before, final confirmation, let's have an example. Yeah, so before, basically what you had to do is to use, it's not really with I try to find a good example. So basically before you had to use question class, and now actually question class is just with ask. Let's see if we have something easier to show. Question helper. Question, choose question. It really makes everything much simpler, but I will try to show you a better way, so for you, you can understand better. Markdown. Yeah, let's go here, and to see that's ask, and directly we get the value from the ask method. And the only place I haven't used ask is because it wasn't really possible to do so. It's here for choice question. And choice question, you can see, because actually I set the error message, so that's why I didn't use ask. The only downside of using ask is that you cannot customize the same way. You cannot change the error message if you want to have a custom, a customized error message. So here I've used a choice question, and then the question I will get, oops, sorry. Let's go here. So question after in the variable, I will have to get question. Where it is? Yeah, from here, from the ask helper, and then to return it. However, when you use the Symphony Style, you just use Symphony Style, which is IO, and ask, and to get directly the output. For you to understand better, let's do it directly, and let's use directly Symphony Style. So what I will do, I will go to history, and it's here. Perfect. So let's use IO equals, so we do exactly like this, and that will be in our execute method, you see, like this, and we'll have configure as well. So let's create that. So first, protected configure. You can see actually that is all of them are protected. That's actually fine. It's because the parent class, yeah, actually we didn't use container. Oh, let me just see what kind of parent class we will use for us. Comment, yeah, basically it will be comment, and we forgot that one, but that's fine. Let's import from here and configure, and normally the result will be void. We can make it actually PHP 7 compatible. At the time I make this video, PHP 7 CMS is still supporting PHP 5.6, but very soon it will support PHP 7.4 and higher only. So we can be confident enough to already use a PHP 4 feature. So normally declare street type. Symfony is supposed to help here, but apparently it doesn't. The street type. Let's do it after. I don't remember exactly for PHP street type PHP 7. The directive is, it's a bit annoying to write that one all the time. Yes, street type, perfect. So this is exactly what we need. Declare street type. Street type, and we have a S, yes, and equals to 1. Perfect. Actually, I think the problem is because my PHP sum is not on PHP 7. So now it will probably suggest it. So yes, let's go back to what we were doing. Vote, and here, projected obviously I need function, and that's already the config method. We will actually implement the body later on, and then we have the protect. So it will be exactly like this. We have to import Symphony Style. Perfect. You can see it's now imported, and here actually we can play around with IO. And if I do ask, you will see actually in the signature, in the function, you see they use actually question class, and then they do directly set validation with the validator, and they return the object, and we have already directly what we need to return. So that's a start. So here we will just have this. It will be installed, and then we run the installation, and then we can do this one, set a description, and we are going to set a name. So installing PHP 7 CMS, actually is a good practice to use printf, and to just mention, not to hardcode the name. And here we will have software name, and the software name, well, we can store it here for now. We will have a private constant. That's also again a PHP 7.1 feature, private constants, and software name, and we do equals to well, it will be PHP 7 CMS. Perfect. And if you can check actually here, so PHP 7 private constant PHP 7.1 constant visibility modifier as PHP 7.1.0, and it's kind of handy actually. So because it's nice to decide also if we want that constant to be accessible from anywhere in our software or not, or from a library that someone else installed in the software. Maybe we don't want them to use some of our constants. So yes, so we do printf here, private constant, because I don't really see the point now. Oh, it can be protected actually. At the moment, it doesn't really make sense, but maybe let's do protected. But usually it's a good rule, especially for properties. So not really for constants, but for properties, to always have them private, because properties can be changed. So it might be dangerous after. It might be really hard to debug if someone else changed a property of your class, an attribute. But here for constant, no, because it can't be changed anyway. And then the name, installation directory. So actually I will rename it to directory. It's required indeed. Maybe we'll ask that later actually. So we do like this for now. configure 7 define this class. Or do we? Oh yes, we do. Perfect. And then here, that will be our execute class. Now in our execute class, it will really look like this. Execute, the signature again is input interface and output interface for the two types. It will usually return an integer because we will use comment, and the class of the comment or the constant of the comment will be either failure, either success, or another one. Let's see that after. And now what we will have, this bit. So helper, get helper is to get the helper, the question helper, and then we will have the Symphony style, the one we spoke about, where we can just do like, this one, IO, and then we will do like ask a question and so on. And then we will return, always return comment, failure or success. It depends. I have an error. I think it's because I have twice. I have twice the same class, and it will be why it doesn't. Oh, actually, I know why. I just did the research for you. I know why actually we don't have the constant failure or success or even invalid. It's because I'm running a older version 3.4.0 because of the PHP compatibility. So we'll definitely change the PHP version in composer.json of the PH7 project, because it's already done actually here. That's even more weird. But because I have 3.4 and the conversion, it's 5 point something, and it does have the constants, as you can see. And in my case, we don't. In our case, you see 5.3.10. So we are definitely running a much older version. So let's say 5.3. So the same as here. And let's do again composer install, because otherwise that's quite annoying. Composer install. So yeah, it's always annoying when we are not running the latest one. Composer update and the package. Yeah, that's a problem. You see, we have an incompatibility with our version 5.6. Oh, sorry, I saw 7.1, but actually 7.1 was require. Oh, the platform. This is what is causing the issue. Platform has still 5.6. So what we are going to do, we are going to do 7.4, and here 7.4, because anyway with the CMS on the next version that is coming, 15.5 16.5, sorry, it will require 7.4. So we will do exactly the same here, but we will also do the same for the platform, because the platform, it checks that everything is compatible with the lower version, and we didn't have that in place. So let's have a look. Yes, everything else looks good. So let's update it again. And we still have a minor issue. So let's do the composer update. So we are going to see, thanks to it, composer update, it will update everything. So now you can actually check in the composer.log if console is fine. And now we have the latest version. So now we won't have that issue anymore, which is really good. So you see that I have now the latest version, which is fantastic. So I can now use my beautiful constant, which will be much easier. What we can do now is to execute all the fields, all the input from the user. So all the inputs is like, the name of the website, everything. So how we are going to do that? We have to know like name of the website equals, and then we can have like something. But first, maybe let's create a method to make it proper. To make it properly, let's create a method, private function, and it will be the name. Well, maybe let's call it the same way as we have in the current installer in PHP CMS. So let's have a look in that file, and maybe let's set on the side so we can have a better look. We can see better. So here how it's done, you see you have different steps. So the first step is the license step. So the language step, we just skip it because it's a CLI interpreter and it doesn't really make sense. It's just simple English anyway. So the license step, well, for now we will just, what are we going to do? Let's skip it for now. And config path. So let's do config path. Yes, I was thinking about creating a new function, a new class, sorry, but I'm not too sure. So we will have IO, which will be our object here, and here we do IO input output. So IO is for that. Then ask, and here it will be the name. So the name is actually path protected. Let's use the same name. So you can see actually, so first you have the question default. So actually it's a question, it's not even you don't have, when you ask from the terminal, you don't have a field name. It's not like on the web. So, and the what we receive, it will be here. So it will be S. I will prefix it by S, which means string. So path, because that's actually the convention of the CMS P7 CMS. It's just a convention. So if when you go P7 CMS convention standard code convention here, and you have a section about variable name, and you see it always data type prefixes, and A is for array, I integer, F float, double, B boolean, C character, S string, and so on and so on. So we will use this convention. So now let's go back here. So path to be protected path actually, and actually it should be the same for here. It's actually O is for object. So let's do O for object. Beautiful. And so we just use the name. So protected. So here actually everything is translated. So path protected. In the template, probably you see it here. It's actually the end path of the protected folder. So we just copy this one, and let's more or less do this. We can change actually a little bit, so it will be directory. I think it's nicer. I will even change in the translation file, but now it's up to you actually. Yeah, to me it's more directory, but it's just a name at the end of the day. It depends also of the operating system. What's a folder, what's a directory? Apparently a folder is more common on Windows. Directory is more on Linux, I think, if I remember well. But it's it's just that. So here we need to do the more or less the same check. If so if the file exists or not, we do like this. And then if it doesn't, if it does, we have also to check if it's readable, the path. The full path. Perfect. If it's readable or not, we don't know. So readable is a simple PHP function that will tell you whether a file or directory exists and is readable or not. So let's continue here. If it's readable, then we can actually set the constant file. So that one, again, we will have to change the constant here. We'll have to modify that one. And if it's not the case, we will have to throw an exception. So it will probably be in our exception class. We will create a new one called invalid invalid path. Yes, something like that. We will actually have to add namespaces as well in there because it hasn't been the case. So there it will have to be like exception and then validation. Perfect. Because when you see where it is in the folder, this is how we want it to be. The same here and the same for that one. Perfect. So now we can actually continue. So after that, we'll have to throw an exception and invalid. And here we just have to import that one. So you see, perfect, that's correct. And so after that, you can see that we write this inside. So we will do actually the same for new. Oh, I think yes. I have to extend to the default PHP exception, or maybe it will be a different one like invalid document. No, runtime. Let's use the runtime one. Runtime exception, and actually I will just import that one. So we don't need a backslash. It's even nicer. And actually, let's do the same for the others as well. Let's also import that one. Nice. And let's do for the last one here. Sorry. we can actually directly do instance, and we'll just import, and it's actually runtime. It's perfect. So this is done. We can close that because my screen is actually a bit too small and I need space. Now it works. As you can see, I mean, it works. It doesn't complain anymore. So now let's add this bit and let's refactor again. So here you see actually this constant. Well, we can actually reuse it in our script because in our script we will try to make it as standalone as possible. The most, like, we don't want to rely to too many things from PH7 CMS kernel. Our script now it's sits in tools folder, but in the future we might move it in its own package. So for this reason, I don't want actually. I think I will do, for now, I will do something like that. And it will be, let's do it because it's a constant class. So we don't care about prefix because it has already its namespace anyway. That's a namespace. And so I think it's protected const. Oh yes. But normally now we can use another constant in a constant with PHP. Before we couldn't use that dir as a value in the constant, but now we can, because actually that one is also dynamic anyway. It's just constant. And here PH7DS, it's actually the directory separator. So we are just move that here. So root installation, and yeah, so it will be like that so far. Root installation, and again data configs constant. Because we don't want to rely to other things, we are going to create our own folders. Data, we will use the same name actually, I mean same namings. So config, actually we should then use a S. Yeah, let's do it. Config, oh no, it's search. Yes, that's not good. Because no, we don't want, because different. Okay, so we don't want to refactor that one. Yeah, sometimes you see, sometimes it's nice with PHP Storm to say no, we don't want you to search for references because that one actually is not used anywhere for now, but it thinks that it is the case. And then we will have, yes, the constant. So if you go to here, data, configs, you see that one. So that file, we are going to copy paste that one as well. So how can we do it? Well, it's simple. We will just do, we'll actually do this, and we are going to copy them. So, just copy in or Command C, and you can paste them here. Yes. Oh yeah, we added to Git. Yeah, that's fine. So that one and that one. So now this one will be found. So it will get the term. We have this. That's all good, you see. And then that sounds fine. Here again, we don't need language. We'll just throw an exception if it's invalid. So put content. Again, public root. Oops. Let's close that one. Let's close that one. Perfect. Public root. That constant. You can see what it is. undo paste, yes. So it's that one. So for us, because are we in the same territory here? No, we are much further. So it won't be the same, but we will replicate something similar. However, here we can just do private. And for that one as well, actually. Private is fine. We don't really want others to use those constants. Roots, public roots. Yeah, let's name it a little bit different, and their name so for us it should be wow. I'm not sure if we can use function here for the value. I'm not sure we can. So what we will do, we might have to do something not really nice. I mean, it's not really beautiful to do it, but now I'm not sure if we can use. I think we can't use constant in. We can't use function names in the value of a constant. We can have a look after, but I really don't think so. So we are in comment. So 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. So here we should be in the root directory. And yeah, that's good. So that's it. So that will be the root directory for us. And so it will be like exactly like this, and it will be self actually, because it's inside of the class. And constant content. So here, if you go back here, if it's in if you can't put the folder, we have to throw an error. So again, we should have a look to the language file to know what's written inside, and that's actually the message. How we will display it? Well, to be easy, we will just do IO, and I think it should be something like this. Let's have a look in the doc. In the official doc. Is it here? No, it's not here. It's not here. It's not here. Let's type Symphony Style and let's see what we get. So that's a 1. Beautiful. So yeah, it's actually error. And oh yeah, we can even do that for displaying long error message. But it's not the case for us. You know, I see. So for us, we just use this because it's an error. So the only problem is because we named IO by the prefix O. So it will be like this, and now it should work. Yes. And otherwise, yeah, we can do comment, and here to be success. Yes. And we don't need to redirect obviously because it's an comment. It's an interface. It's in the terminal, so we don't have to do any HTTP redirection, and we can just remove this. So actually, we will return integer then, because this one doesn't have to return anything. And here success, and here we will return failure. Oops. Yes, failure. Awesome. Now let's create the next step. We already did one step, config path, and congratulations. I know it's not easy. We might actually also still do the private license, the license step. That will be for later on, but I think we will actually probably do it as well to be consistent. It's a long journey because we still have a lot of things to do, but this is why it's so exciting. So this one is actually I will do to do. To do is nice because normally most of the ID will highlight to do prefix and still to implement. Perfect. So what this one I have to fix my PHP CS, but now we now we are busy doing something else, so that will have to be done later on. Config system, that will be a really exciting one because we speak to the database as well. Woohoo. So first let's create function config system, and let's do this here. What we will have, oops, we have a lot to do actually, because there are a lot of input from the user that we need to receive. Everything actually related to we might use some default parameters, but at least what we need is a host name, username, and so on. So what we can already do, Symphony Style, I think we have heading, no? In Symphony Style section, oh that's nice title. Adding a user, oh, it is well given soon as the title of some comment section. It only needs some better. Oh yeah, let's use section. That's quite good. So here it will be like so first we need to have Symphony Style like here. So Symphony Style, and let's do this convention, and inside we do like database. That will be quite good because to be much simpler to be read. And here perfect. So database configuration, what we need, what has to be done here. Well, a lot of different things actually, because you see host name, that's the default one, but this one has to be changed anyway. I mean, the user will probably not have the same. So let's do db user equal to OIO. And wow, this is really annoying. PHP CS fix. I will see if we can just fix it. I don't know actually what it did or not. I think I have to install a newer version. There's a problem with the version, but yes. And yes, anyway, it will show all the time, but sorry about that. I will fix it for the next video. So here you see, hello again. It's funny. So user, it will be db database user, and database user, database password after. Database password. Then it will be the host name. We didn't do it actually, so database host name. Host name, so database host name. What else do we need? There are a lot of different things, but DB name, yes, we do need the database name as well. So actually, we will also check in the install language file to have a, to have an idea. It's just here what it was set: database username, database password, database prefix. So for us here, database name, yes, lovely, and database prefix, perfect. So prefix, and what else we need? Prefix description. Okay. So what else? Actually, the prefix, maybe we won't bother with that. In our yes, prefix, we will use the default one. I mean, we make it simpler. So the command line interface, the installation, we want to make the installation simpler. Insert is run as simple as possible. Perfect. So here, database name, port again, no bother with that. And then email, we can do validation of the email. That's, yeah, we will do that. So we will have a field, we will have an input for the bulk report email. So we will add it here. So it will be db bulk report email, beautiful, and database. Let's have a look of the translation for that field. Here, bulk report email. Yeah, that's a good name. So we will have this. Wow, as you can see in the config system, it's a big one. Like we have a lot, and that's exciting actually. It's always nice to have a lot of different fields and a lot to process. So at least, it's a bit more challenging. That way we will learn better. So yeah, I was implementing license with choice question, but I think it's a better idea to use obviously the hyper one from Symphony Style, and we are going to ask for for the questions and for what kind of if they agree or not with the license. So first is question choices default. So for us it will be question choices, and then here to be the default. params. So we will have this and this over there, like this. Let's go on a new line. So like that, basically. So it will be, this is actually the question. I use an array because we want to have it on it's only a string that can be, okay, so let's use a string, but it will be a long one. So let's store it in a constant. It will be simpler. So, I mean in a variable here. Message. As you can see now, I don't use prefix for the type anymore because I think it's not really, it's a bit redundant, especially now since PHP 7 we have types, and because this CLI installer might be standalone in its own package, it doesn't make sense anymore. So let's do this. And perfect. So that's a message. So here we have the message. Then we will have the different choices, and then default Y. Perfect. Beautiful. If response is Y, then actually if it's N, then it will be, will show an error actually, and the error message will be, we will do like, we do IO, and here it will be error, and what kind of message we will show, you will need to accept it before, oh wait, before installing the software. You have to agree with it. Perfect. Come back later if you change your mind. Awesome. So that's the error message. We can actually have to, like, so it will be on a different line. Oh, obviously I don't have $sign, so that won't work. And yes, like this. And then we can return comments, yeah, invalid. And otherwise, if it's not, if the person confirms the license, so if not, it will be return comment success. Perfect. So this is for the license function. And after we will just call it here in the execute. So we will just do like this. And as you can see, we use IO. So we'll just call this one here. Beautiful. So actually, we will just rename, we are going to not use the convention about the prefix because I think it's a bit annoying, and because I plan to move away this installer from into a singular standalone composer package. It doesn't really make sense then in that way. I mean, it's not really necessary then to use the same convention because it will leave by itself in its own package. This is the reason why. So here perfect. Here as well. And yes, we can just replace actually. It will even be easier. Perfect. And I will just do IO. And to make sure that we don't do any mistakes, we'll do to match the case. Perfect. So far this is done. Email. We are getting there. Don't worry. License. Nice. So what do we have to do? Update modes. Oh, yeah, like sending an email and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be done. Now we can just create a kind of an MVP and nothing else. Config system. Again, that one we will skip it for now, or maybe we'll actually ask for the FFmpeg. The cap, I never remember the cap, FFmpeg. Let's see in the language file what kind of cap we have. Yes, the path. Beautiful. And the default one obviously will be the function. So we will say again, if you don't yeah, let's do optional. Perfect. So that one, let's see that function, what it returns. So let's copy that function actually in, well, we will actually change to a method. Again, it shouldn't sit in the installer comments. Oh, actually, yes, let's create a utility class, like utils helper probably, helper installer. Let's create a class. It will probably be something like helper, but actually the helper will probably be the name of the class. So install. I'm not too sure. For now, yeah, helper. But that will be, for now, let's just create a file. I really don't know about, for the name of a folder. Let's just create it inside of the main directory. So helper. Maybe we'll create first a folder named CLI or something like that. And then, CLI is not about CLI, but we have no idea actually how to call it. It's a bit complicated. So, and the name actually will have the same there. For the namespace, it will be like this. Comment, we don't need this, but we do have CLI. I'm not sure for the namespace actually, for the name of the directory. We will probably change it on in class helper, and inside of it, well, we will have that function. And that function actually will probably be a public static function. Like this. Oh, we don't need this actually. So it will be exactly like that. And we can use get. And it's Windows. Let's do like that. Perfect. So we can do like this. And the path will be just this. We can actually directly return it. We can make it much simpler actually. Just like this. Yeah, we don't need to know. It can just be like this. That's how it will be. So you see that will be easy, simpler path. Yes, so that's it. And now here we will just do the default will be get. Oh, we first need to import it. No, yes, CLI, yeah. Perfect. So that function will be it, and it will be the name of it. We will just have to rename to this. This doesn't need DB. Database. Actually, database. Let's rename it to database config, database setup. I want to have it just for the database. I think that will be easier. That will probably be better. And then we'll see after how we will manage everything. But so here actually, but for now, yeah, I think that's the best. And this will actually return an array of all the data. So that one will return something. And another one will be about to get site settings maybe. Let's see. After, we might do some refactoring and some different other stuff. But for now, Symphony Style, IO, also array, and inside again, it will be those kind of information. Here it's DB hostname, DB user, DB password, and DB name, yes. And here to be much simpler, because we are going to return just a few information such as this one and debug report email. Again, we won't use this kind of prefix, so we can just get rid of this. It will be actually, yeah, easier to read as well. And we can here, we can just remove this, perfect, and DB name, and it will be exactly the same for here. DB, DB, and DB. Nice. So this looks good. We still have a lot of things to do. It's not over, but bit per bit, you see. So here, site settings. I mean, to be actually website. I mean, website application actually. That I think that fits. It's more about it, like application settings. The application is actually the website, the site, the software. So yes. Oops. So now we still have to validate the email after and the other stuff. So right now we are now going to do some refactoring. Like you see the N is hard coded, and I will create a new class. The class will be answer, and that new class we will have it to be a final class because it will be just basically constant, and we don't actually need someone to to change that class, to extend it so it can be final. And here it will be no, I mean first yes for y, and public const no equal n. And here I need obviously the const keyword. So we show you actually right now final, so you can maybe understand better what's here already here. So PHP final class which prevent overwriting. You see a method to a child class just by the final prefix with the definition. Usually a class with only constants, it's a good practice to declare it as final. So here I think they have an example. Yes, obviously you can't overwrite the method testing and properties. A constant cannot be declared. Yeah, and it's the same for the class. If the whole class is final and you try to extend base class from the child class because base class is final, you will have exactly the same. You can't inherit the base class. So yeah. And now from the answer class, we can just do and it was no. I will maybe actually do answer to keep it consistent. Answer, and here answer. Perfect. Configure path. I will change to protect. It's nice always to be explicit in the in your function names. So yes, I think that's good. This one actually, so get database setup, I changed a little bit there, and now it will actually it will give the DB hostname, DB user, DB password, and DB name, so the name of the database. And for get application settings, we'll have this and this for the email, but it will return also the details. Let's go back to our install controller and let's see what else do we need to do. We did this, that's good. Now we will probably, most likely, oh yeah, we have to validate the email. So actually in my previous class here, I created a function isValidEmail. So when you use filter var, it's really easy actually to filter an email like that. And we will reproduce exactly the same, except here, probably we will create a class in MISC. So we named the folder CLI to MISC because I think it makes more sense. And inside of that MISC folder, we are going to create a class. Oops. And the name of the class will be validator. Validator, validation, probably validation. And in the validation class, well, we will have a public. So first we'll have a public constructor. So public function construct. Here to be the value. The value will be, no, it can be actually any type. So let's not give a type to it. It will be, we create a private value, a private property. So we are just going to do, just to initiate the value property. And then I will have public function, and the name will be validate email. Let's see. And what that one will do, well, it's easy. It will just we will use the filter var. We will use the email, which will be in value. And then, as you can see, as I did here, we use the filter validation email. That's the default function in PHP, filter validation, validator. Oops, I think that, oh, validate, sorry, validate email. And then I will check with strict type because that one actually can return a 0, for instance. So I really want to make sure that is not false. And it's actually to return a boolean. As you can see, I will actually go here. Oh, here it is. So you can just see validator email. It's a pretty easy function. We are going to do the same for names after. Validate an email. Do we have something with normally string? We don't, but oh, that's an interesting one. Well, that one must be, wait, let me have a look, because for the string we'll just check the length anyway. So we'll copy paste again. Let's see actually what they do. I mean, what we do here in validation name. What it is. You see validation email, validation, we have some functions. We won't use all of them. For the moment, yeah, I mean, we might just use validation email as well. And you see, we just check the length of the name. So we can actually copy paste that one as well. It will return a boolean. And then we are going to do this. That will be the value. We check if the length is not higher to maximum. So the max for us, it will be 2. So private const max mean length equals 2, and here again the same, however here to be for max. Or maybe let's prefix it by name so we know directly what the function is about. Name, and here to be 20. Oh, and obviously private. So here I will do name mean, and we double check if the name is not also longer than the maximum value. So this, and oh, I have to use a constant here. Name and max, perfect. Nice, and we just make it more readable here. So here you see, yeah, that's nicer. So for the moment, we'll have these two: validate email. Oops, I have twice the same actually because yeah, I duplicated it. Here private const okay. Now it looks good. So here, what we are going to do, we are going to check the email first. So if how we are going to do, I will do validation equals new, and the value will be the email, you see, and then it will be validation is valid. I think that's better name. Is valid email. Let's change it to is valid email instead, and is valid name. It reads better. So is valid email. If it's valid, well, if it's not valid, sorry, if it's not valid, we will throw an exception. Exception, or yeah, we just here actually we'll have two types to be integer as well. Return, so to be error and to be email not valid. Please enter valid email. Perfect. And yes, comment to be comment invalid. Perfect. So we return this, and here to return right. For now, let's leave it as it is, but normally it's nice to be consistent in the way we return what we return. We might do some refactoring after. For the database, as you can see, let's see in the install and see DB connection. We might do database. We might use the database class or something like that. We might for now copy paste the database class from the installer and have it in, well, in the MISC folder for now. Yes, let's yeah. In the MISC folder, let's just copy that class. So we will just copy enc. Oh no, it's not in enc, it's in library actually. So my bad, it's that one database. So for now, let's just copy it. And yeah, that one for now we can just remove it. That one as well. PDO database, because actually that one is only when it's accessible on the web. We check that someone doesn't try to access to the file, not from the proper, no, not from another. Like it has to be like the PH7 constant has to be defined, and it will be only defined if you access to the page from the proper index file in the root of the install folder. It's just a way to make it safer to avoid someone to see undefined variables or errors we don't want to show, because then a potential hacker might know the path of the folder or something like that. It's just that. So here array, yeah, that looks good. Perfect. So now what we can do, we will just do something like that in the get database. And let's in the execute. Well, we'll have so much to cover. Configure path, configure protected. Then obviously get application settings, that will be for after. Nice. And here database setup. Yes, database setup, and that will be well, DB details, and so we will have to I'm just thinking how we will do it here. So database, so the DB name we know what it will be. Maybe we should change something in the import class. Oh no, oh, I think it's a namespace. I should change the namespace to the proper one. So CLI installer MISC. Installer MISC. Yes, nice. And that can be public actually. We want them to be public. That one as well, and that one as well. Nice. So constructor, and here we just change to params everywhere actually. A params, we replace all of them, because now we decided in our project we won't use the convention for the a for prefixing. I mean, we won't use the prefix for the data type of each variable. So it will also return. Oh no, it's a constructor, so obviously it doesn't return anything. This one looks good. So let's remove that for now, and let's import database and now we have the new namespace. Perfect. So I think for us we can do something like this. And DB details, obviously the type, we will use the default one for now. So that one will be the default one. So it will be database. Yes. DB hostname, we did change it. So we did. So it will be, and the name, or actually we will have to change. We'll have to add keys. So host name. Yes. Host name. User. Let's prefix it by db password and db name. So now we can see here db host. Yeah, host, db host name. Well, we can keep at host for now to make it really short. DB name, because we know that it's the DB host name anyway, so DB host, yeah, that's okay. DB name, password again, username, sorry, DB user, that will be DB password, and that one, char set, well, the default one in the install controller is actually, let's have a look, that one, char set, DB default settings, so I think the best will be in our database class with this for the char set, and obviously private. I don't know why I always repeat my typo. Yes, db char set. Actually, yes, I will make it simpler. I will just directly set the char set here. DB char set. Private, well, it will be public too, actually. Yes. So we won't need it here. That will be redundant. Yes, so we already did a good job now. We did this for the database, for the connection, and we can do what's new. Here we do a try. After we will refactor the code, most likely, but for now we are still going to do it in the execute function. So where is it? Here, DB connection constant. So if obviously we have an issue with the database, We can import video exception. Nice. And the exception will be, well, we will just display the error in the terminal. That's fine. We don't have to escape it. It's safer. We won't have excesses, vulnerabilities. So we can do IO. Again, error. We display it. But first, printf. Oh, let's see what's inside of that one in the language file. So database error. And we just do this. And then we'll have, yes, that one. Beautiful. Nice. That looks good. Awesome. That this is done now. And what else do we have? I was looking for that one. If we check the version, so we can do actually a version check. Where are we going to do it? Well, probably here. Yes. So probably get attributes. Again, oh yeah, we use video. I don't want to use video directly in the comment class. It's not really clean. And I will throw an exception probably inside of the database class. I will have a private function. Check. Yeah, but that's only MySQL. Well, we won't have that check for now. For now, let's leave it as it is. We should though. You know, the database class. Let's do it MySQL for now, because now it will be only MySQL. So probably this is what we are going to do, because here I have a MySQL constant as well. So let's refactor it to just MySQL. Yes, I think that's proper, because it's funny that actually here that one shouldn't be there. MySQL. I mean, it should be there only if the database DB type is MySQL. So this, and then we'll have private function check version, and that one will just well, it will do this mostly this get attribute and self and version compare, again this get attribute, and that function, let's have a look for that one. So that will be the function. yeah, we can actually for now have a function here, private const required function, and it will be this. And now we are going to check here. Oops. Perfect. So yes, that sounds good. And it will return a boolean. Nice, nice. And here, so here we are going to do a check. If check version, well, if it doesn't have the appropriate SQL function, we'll throw we will have a invalid SQL invalid version. Yes, I think mostly that sounds good. Sometimes I wonder for the name of the class, SQL, like uppercase or not. It's hard sometimes to know. Like PDO has, not sure. Let's have a look in some projects. Symfony. Yeah, no, probably they don't because they use, yeah, they use doctrine, so I'm not sure. Let's see doctrine how it does. Yeah, the ORM already actually, and the namespace at least, it's uppercase. Let's do it for now, but yeah, maybe after we will rename it. So now, in the validation folder, we'll have a new class, and the name will be this. Nice. So basically inside we'll have the same. However, it will extend to PDO exception, this one. And we'll import, yeah. That will be our class. And it won't be in validation actually. We can actually move it to move class to exception. Yeah, directly to exception. That sounds good. Perfect. So here we have to import the class. Awesome. And yes, in the installer, because the class extends from PDO exception, we'll have that error. So normally, yeah, return should work. Check version. Perfect. So the version of the database will be checked. That's nice. And then we'll have to add a config. No app config written. Oh yeah. What are we going to do here? After we will add everything in the config.inine file. Config file. we'll have to replace all of these. And also, oh yes, we require now constant. I wonder how we are going to do this step. Let's see. You see, to pass all the config variable somewhere. So let's see how we are going to do this. Probably we'll have another function, and the name will probably be like parse config file, parse app config file. I mean, let's do just app. Probably here it has to be also just app is easier. So just app instead of application. So let's rename this. Beautiful. And somewhere there we will change this. We are going to do that. So now actually here we want to remember in our get app setting we were returning two types, integer and array. I think it's better actually to throw an exception. So it will be invalid email, the one invalid email exception. We don't have one because the one showing up there is not is part of the PH7 CMS mail package. So mail in the framework. So here we are going to create a new class, invalid, email exception, and that one again, it will extend to run exception, runtime, sorry. We can import it, runtime exception. So that's our class, invalid email exception. We can now import it. Apparently there's an issue, maybe with a name, invalid email. So invalid email looks the same, yes, and exception, wait a minute, exception, that's funny. Let's see what's not right. ex. Oh, yes. It's because in the other class, I just forgot the L. Okay, we found it. That's good, at least. Sometimes it takes a bit of time, to understand why the S is missing. And, sometimes you don't really email with a L. And here it will be, invalid email. Yeah, we have it already here, so let's do that way. And the error, the catch here, it will be done on a higher level. So it will actually be done probably here. Try, and then catch. It will be again invalid email exception. And here we are going to check the error. So we need we'll have the exception, and to be just get message. Yes, that's it. So you see now it's quite, yeah, it's proper. Definitely it's a better practice to do this. So yeah, always try, it's nicer, it's cleaner to do that way. And what else do we need here? No, that's fine. Oh yes, and actually where we catch, we can do that here as well. So here we will also return, we have to return, otherwise the script will continue to be executed. We have to do, well, failure. We return failure, and the same here. Also, we will return the same failure. Perfect. Yeah, so otherwise it will continue to be executed. It won't stop the function to be run. So here, that will be for later on, actually, when everything is fine. And that will be then a success. Perfect. So now in our script, I've done actually some refactoring. So I will let you know what was the refactoring. So first, as you can see, I completed this one, the build app config file. So it's not really a code refactoring, but I did some changes, and now I saw the file not readable exception. I decided to only throw exceptions from these functions and only give console error in the execute method. So only inside of the execute method I will show messages such as error or success or normal message, but inside of the functions that the execute is calling, it will be only exceptions. So invalid path exception and so on and so on. We see this one is also about the configuration of the site, and there as well we ask first the name of the site, the username, admin password, admin login email, because this one email which is only used for usually for the terms and conditions, and the admin login is only for to log into the admin dashboard. That's it. It's also safer because we don't want to expose the login email to anyone else, like such as if we display it on the terms and condition, maybe someone will think, oh, maybe it's the same email to log into the website, and we don't want to do that. So admin login, and that's the admin email that is usually used for the TOS page, so terms and condition, but terms of condition, but TOS, yeah, terms of conditions. And let me just check actually, terms of service, sorry, TOS, terms of service. And you have admin first name, admin, that one has to be last name, contact email, no reply email, and so on. And then we will just prepare the DB query and just executing it after. So let's continue in our script. So here I will, that one question actually helper is not used. It's not used anywhere, so I have to remove it. And then here in the build app config file, well, I think here it can be void because it doesn't return anything. We just throw an exception if the file is not. We can't write. We can't update the config.inine file. So let's just do void return type. Here as well, I think we can use safely void return type as well. And here the catch, I will just change the error message in the execute. So it will be, we will return the failure constant. And then at the end of the execute method, I will just add a new try catch. Just wait. Here you see, and then build app config, and we will also get the file not readable exception in case this one gives it, because as you can see, if it's not, if we can't save the file, it will throw an exception. So let's continue, and it will return also the comment failure. And then here config site, well, when we configure the site PDO, we set a PDO error. Let's say MySQL error. I go a little bit fast, but you can obviously set the video on pause. And then config protected path. We should also, if you remember, I'm not sure, section actually is to delimit in a big complex CLI program. It's nice to have some sections. So it's a kind of a heading actually, and we show, it's a section actually, and we show, this is for this is a section, and that's the other section, and so on. And here the config protected path, we also throw this exception when we can't create the constants.php file in the root of the project. So let's add also global try catch exception, and you see we start from the beginning here in execute method, and we will catch any other kind of exception. So we just do a basic exception class, and I think, 1 second, yeah, the exception is not right, so let me change it. Perfect. So here it's obviously basic errors, so we can just change it, and we will also display a message that they can create a new issue on GitHub saying like, oh, there's an issue, don't worry, please try again, and then you can try again, or maybe or report any bugs and issues and then we'll do the website URL. I will do write ln, not error here, because just showing error message, maybe it won't be exactly a good idea. Then column here as well. There was an error with the first name here. It was last name. Perfect. So now that's good. Config file, comment. You see it bit per bit. It's getting better and better, which is amazing. IO license. Because invalid agreement, invalid agreement. This is when that's a new class. We will throw that exception when the person doesn't answer correctly for the license. So it will return void. We won't show the error message inside of this function, the same as the other ones, and we will just reuse that way, try and catch, and we say, hey, this is invalid. let's see, I think there's another one which from you. Invalid, oh yeah, that one. Invalid path. Invalid path because we don't, it's readable. File put contents, file get content, so we should, yeah, that should be fine. What if this is readable? Let's have a look again to the install controller. I will just set it again on the side, and let's have a look here. No protected. So probably if that's fine, and then from there, so I would actually move that one here. If, oh, sorry, here, inside of this. And then, if this is fine, then we can just, if it's not, we throw that exception. Perfect. So you see, if the file exists, so it's basically like here. If the file exists, the protected path. Well, we check if it's if the path is readable or not. If it's the case, well, we try to create the file and the protected path. Do we do that? I'm not sure. Maybe we forgot that step. I think we did. So because we have to update also the console file. So the path, and then we write that file. So we have to add this one as well. Then we try to update the path and the name at slashes. The name is actually here. That's the same. This is the same as here. It's also exactly the same. So then we still replace, we replace it, and then string replace, and then we try to write that one down. And if we can't, we throw that exception, but otherwise we can give an exception. Oh, hey, by the way, oh, I don't know what happened for that one. And we can say, oh, by the way, the path doesn't look correct. Invalid path. Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot. Curly brackets. Nice. So here we can just, oh, it has to be, I think my ID just changed everything. I don't really like private, and then on the second line, the function keyword. So we move. So here, invalid path exception, we are just going to say no protected path. Yes, a basic error message like that. So let's see in our sorry, lang English en dot install perfect. And here, sorry, we haven't found the project directory wasn't found or doesn't have the right Si somebody writing permission. Perfect. And here, yeah, just do backslash and slash. Doesn't doesn't. Sometimes I get confused. Let me check the spelling because that one it's always hard for me. Doesn't. I'm always never sure doesn't because sometimes DOESN. Perfect. So yes, the oops, sorry, DOESN. Perfect. So yes, that's good. Perfect. And now what we can do is just to catch that exception. So in here, we are going to actually, because we can catch different exceptions, of course. So here we will do another catch. So catch, that's for the file readable exception. But before that, we can add another catch, which will be for the invalid path exception. And here we can again, well, show something very similar. I think with PHP, what version we can do this? I think already with this current PHP version, we could do something like that normally. Yes, normally. Let me see. I will check on my phone because right now I don't have internet on my computer, but exception PHP, it will be type, what's the name, union type or pipe character. That's different. PHP 7.1, oh nice. So apparently try cat. Let's have a look. Let's search pipe. I will show you after on my phone. I said so yes, PHP 7.1. So we can do that. I will just I will just search for an example in the doc to see if it's correct. Yes, so we can actually use, you probably don't see very well, but we can use the pipe and then have an exception because we can mention multiple ones. So exactly like this. Beautiful. So that's really the best. So obviously we will do that way because it can throw more than one exception. Beautiful. So this is done actually. Oh, hello you. So just again a video because I just realized in the installer file, so in CLI installation is installer, I just realized we forgot to have our PHP tag and also to have the constant root dir. Root dir doesn't exist, and we will also add a copyright comment, just so for different projects. Sometimes it might be useful to have it, although it's not a requirement, but you can still do it. So first we'll do the root dir constant. We'll declare the root dir constant. Wait, I will copy from here. That was my other project about, so this one was the PHP readme generator CLI. So I will just copy paste, and I will change the dir to have dir name, so we can go to the parent folder 2 times. So because here we are in CLI tools, and then it will be here in the root. So we do that, protected. Actually, we'll hardcode protected. Probably I will define another constant, which will be protected dir. And actually, I will add the prefix PH7 here because we don't have namespace, and yeah, in this case it's better because will it? Yeah, because the other files will be included, and just to avoid conflicts and for better practice, although it's not that beautiful to have. I mean, yeah, prefix is okay actually, it's not that ugly. Protected, yeah, that sounds good. Dir protected. So I will check in the other constants. I will check in the probably in the constant config file. So it's in install. Actually, if you go install data, let's just check something constants. How we protected PS7, that's a path, and just the folders. I will check in protected data, app config constants. Just for the folders, just let's have a look if we end them with a slash or not. There we do actually. It's nice to keep it consistent. So yeah, we do, as you can see. I mean, that's for the web, but yes. Let's declare it that way. And so we are going to do here. We'll actually add directory separator. Nice. So here I will do this and then that. So vendor, now I can do that way. Beautiful. And that will be protected. Yes. So after, in our script, what we are going to do, installation comment, in my constants, I will probably have, because I ask for the protected license config, but maybe we will remove that part. We won't ask because with the CLI command to be by default the protected. We won't ask as an option. So protected path will just be, we'll replace this one with, well, oh yeah, but that's a full path. We are going root install, root project Oh, that's funny. Root install. Because 1, 2, 3. But I think root install data. Oh yes, where we are. Yeah, that will be fine. I'm just thinking if we can't improve maybe in a different way. Root project. Because you see, yeah, root install is exactly, that won't be right because data is actually here. So root install, it will actually be root, yeah, root project, root install. We are going to use this constant instead. So probably private const, and we will use that one. So root dir, let's do perfect. And so we will just replace root install by this one. We'll match the case, and yes, we replace all of them. So that will be fine because data is not incremented here. Just, yeah, that will be good. And now root project, I'm thinking if maybe PS7 root, we might want, yeah, we might define another constant here, root project, and we will have their name, the dir, and then sometimes it's hard to know the dir because so actually, yes, the problem root dir will be this one, root project, and root dir will be just the one we had before, so dir, and that's it. And for project, yeah, so, and this one will be so here we'll add PH7 prefix, and probably this one here, it will be definitely root project. And then we will have project, yeah, this makes much more sense. So in the project here, that's fine. And then the other constant root project will be P7. Perfect. Yeah, that sounds much better. So root project, when we are writing constants to be root project, yes. And here we will add root project plus plus this one. We already have the separator, so it will be exactly this. PH7 protected dir. That sounds fine. So we don't ask, obviously, we will remove this. We are removing, we are going to store that. So protected path, maybe this one. This one, sorry. Perfect. And so actually, oh, that's funny. I think there was a little issue because, as you can see, it's easy to get confused actually. So if we go back, let's see. Sometimes it's nice to keep track of what we are doing. We can also do that with Git. That's why Git is so important and so handy. This is from the installation, and this one is which is not. So what we are doing is really okay. So this one, we have to store this here. That one is actually this one. So what we need is here, this one, and we have to check if this if it is readable. If it's the case, then we can proceed. Root dir, as you can see, is this root dir. I still don't like the name because it's root. So CLI installation, let's say. CLI installer dir. And here to be the same. So CLI installation dir. That sounds a better name. Otherwise, it's too confusing. And here, CLI installation dir. And so we will replace by root dir will be replaced by this. Yes, that sounds much better. So now we have this, and then we replace the path. So actually the path, it's so easy to just be this. Sometimes we still have the add slashes actually, in case, depends on the environment. It's nice to keep exactly the same way as it's done on the install, the normal installer. So add slashes, yes, and then root dir, that's fine. Root project, perfect. So here we are just checking if everything is fine. So we don't need any params here, any parameters. So we can just remove that. Invalid path, yeah, we keep that. So it will even be easier because we won't ask anything for the protected path. It's just this one, protected, so beautiful. And again, maybe protected here. Yeah, this sounds good to me. And we have the separator. Perfect. So now let's try to execute. So PHP, and it will be installer. So we have an issue, as you can see, install comment is not found, and this is the case here. So actually PHP says that it cannot find this because installer comment. So we need to check if Actually, I think I know it's because the way how packages composer is set up for the autoload is not right for here, and this is why the autoload cannot find it. Yes. So because obviously the namespace, let's just check the namespace, and then we can also see comments. Oh, wait, maybe there's a little issue actually. PHP CLI, you see CLI install comment, PHP CLI install. So CLI and install is not there. So we have to add them. So that's why PHP cannot find, Composer cannot find it, because you need to mention this here. So which we'll do now. Autoload. We only have the dev one, so we'll add a normal one because yeah, that will be for the normal one. So here we will do so the namespace, as you can see, is exactly this, but it will be this. So this will be actually this directory. So let's do that, and then that's important. And here it will be tools CLI installation. Perfect. And then we have to update. So composer bump autoload. It's something like that. I don't remember. Let's have a look if we have it in the history. I'm not sure. Bump. Oh, obviously, if I don't use grep. No, we don't. Auto. No, apparently, we don't have it anymore, but, well, let's have a look. No composer. Oh, obviously, we'll do n. Okay, I think my terminal is not, doesn't like me for now. So it's because we are not, oh, no, we aren't here. So let's do it again. Composer, and let's see the comment. That will be the easiest. That's the same actually. Bump autoload. Perfect. And now let's try again. So now we have to go to our directory, which is tools CLI. And now we can try again by doing PHP installer. So you see now it's, oh no, it's still the same error actually. Because PH7 CLI installer, it's for this. Oh, it's dev here. We have to change that. And oh, again, I will actually open a new terminal. I will run it again. Yes, I mean this one. Beautiful. No, I don't want to speak. So now let's run it again. Beautiful, you see, now it works. So now we need to use our command, and the command is actually install run. Yeah, actually, maybe just run actually. I mean, PHP. Yeah, let's do this. Do you agree? Oh, nice. Yes, I do. And yes, and database configuration. You see, that's actually the section we added here. Beautiful. So actually, we are also going to create a README in the CLI installation just to explain a bit how to use it. It's always a good practice to do that. So just here, PH7 Web Builder. Installation wizard. Is it this? I think it is. So because sometimes I get confused what what's the method, like what if it's installation wizard or proper name. I wrote it a long time ago a lot, and just to make it consistent, let's have a look. Oh yeah, installation wizard. So yes, it is. That's fine. Actually, we can add a wizard. That will be funny. Which one? Probably that one. Let's add it. That makes it even better, more exciting. So now, how to use it in go to run in this folder. So tools, run. Now we are going to do yes, so PHP installer, and then run. We can actually change the command to do P7 run. Yeah, that will be the command. Perfect. The first, let's make it fun. The first CLI dating, the first and we can even do this. The first CLI dating builder installer tool ever invented. Perfect. And a want. Okay. Nice. It's just for fun, you know. Sometimes it's nice to, you know, it's annoying, like CLI program are a bit boring, you know, this kind of console, they are a bit boring. So it's nice just in the doc to make it fun. So in the folder, that's the folder. So it just do this inside of this folder. I don't know why it says inside. Go, oh yeah, anyways, run, then follow the instructions. Perfect. And actually, what else we have to, good to know. when using to install PH7 be known as you have to make sure that you didn't rename the folder you the database has less options. For instance, you can't because we can change the prefix when installing when creating actually the tables in the database, meaning you won't be able to have two same installations using the same database. If so, you will have to create a second database or using the normal installer. So what's the normal one? It's doc p7 cms.com doc yen, and I think the name is install. Using the traditional web installer. Beautiful. That sounds really nice. And trouble shooting if you occur any issues, please report them by raising an issue. And we will add the link, and the link, if you remember well, it's that one, GitHub, exactly this one. So let's copy paste that one by raising an issue. Perfect. And yes, that's it. Beautiful. Well done. So now we can commit everything. This one we changed. What was the last commit? It was that one. So now I will do bug fixes plus announcement. Normally it's not good to have two different messages in the same commit, because one commit should be for just one thing, one purpose. But here, let's say it's an exception. I know exception is never good, but yes, let's say it's an exception for now, because I feel a bit sick and I have to drink something after. So here it will be readme. So add readme for the CLI installer, and oh, smiley, let's say. Perfect. Beautiful. So well done.